It is a watershed in the history of the Yoruba land generally, and Ife in particular. Now, because they have a leader now, that will... Simply put, Gura is a beautiful countryside with awesome landscapes. If something differently will be done to the Nigerian textile industries, that our youth will be employed. Attend the church here can tell you.
Service in Holy Arosa is in Benin.
We are taking a canoe tour of the communities on the bank of River Niger in Keso.
Nigerian communities on the bank of River Niger may be having a pleasure ride. That is, of course, if you consider abundance as a pleasure. Granted, many a community have a checkered existence living on the river banks. But truly, I don't think there is such a thing as life without challenge or existence without responsibility. At any rate, this is the story of a unique thought of communities and not a class or philosophy. Over the years, Rogo at large had extensive and illuminating contact with many communities on the bank of River Niger in Nigeria, in Lavun and Shiroro local government areas of Niger State, in Ida and Ibaji local government areas of Kogi State, in Onitsha, Anambra State, and very recently in Bagudu and Yauru local government areas of Kebbi State. There are mixed stories of survival, fabulous sometimes, pathetic in other times, yet together from the beginning of times. The scriptures often say man cannot live by bread alone, but like famous Nigerian economist Claude Ake would say, man cannot also live without bread. A common thread generally unites Nigerian communities along River Niger. They all find livelihood living in the neighborhood of the Great River, eternal livelihood. That, in fact, although noble, is rather too obvious. What is not too obvious is the interplay of natural and artificial forces to determine how the livelihood can be attained, its nature, and at what time. Actually, I feel rather tongue-tied to offer satisfactory narrative of the phenomenon I have in mind, so I provide a practical window to give a detailed idea of it. To do that, I take you back to Yauri in Kebbi State. A little over 2 months ago, I was in Yauri. At that time, River Niger was roaring to touch the sky. It was a smooth highway for thousands of riverbank communities in Yauri Emirate to plot their crops, especially onion, to Yauri market for Nigerian markets. The soil of Yauri is suitable for the cultivation of a unique kind of onion, dark, small and pepperish. It grows in no other soil anywhere in Nigeria. Onion cultivation is a subculture here. It is engaged by every family. It is a seasonal endeavor too, from November to end of April. Essentially, the story we are telling is, yes, River Niger supports extensive and abundant cultivation of onion, rice and fish in Yauri Emirate, but the cultivation of these crops is dependent on the strange behavior of the river. We did indeed have a clear picture of onion cultivation and marketing in Yauri Emirate in our previous episode, and a bit of rice too. It wasn't a season of fish then. It is now, and it is a whole new life. This is a picture of the riverside of Yauri around March and April. The water is threatening to occupy every inch of the riverside. At a period like this, the communities cannot fish. Forget about volume of water. Fishes are caught when the water is low. After the events of the Yauri Regatta Festival, I have to come back to Yauri some 1 or 2 months later, and what I find is phenomenal. Yauri is just rare on the bank of River Niger, and being on the bank of River Niger is a great blessing. But then there is also a beautiful phenomenon unfolding around River Niger at this time. When we came for regatta, you can look at this beautiful river. It was full. Spaces like this place was occupied by water. 2 months later, the water has receded. What the local community told me here is that River Niger is a kind of allergic to rainwater. When the rain drops, River Niger retreats and the water goes down. You don't see it. But you know what happened thereafter? Fishing, fishing, and fishing. People get wealth, people get livelihood out of the River Niger receding at a time like this one.
Fishing is the most important trade in this area, next to farming. And fishing has been going on for many, many years. Before the construction of Kenji Dam, our people used to sail from here to Niger Delta, sell fish. And people from Niger Delta, fishermen from Niger Delta, used to come here to fish. They set up some camps along the river banks. Even now they do it. But yes, they come by road now. And people from other countries, Mali, Niger, they come here in November, December, January, February, March. They spend many months here fishing. You see? So this is, that's why the government, the federal government, I have to thank the federal government for this. They know the importance of fishing in Abuja. That's why
fish. It is a promise for life for everyone. This life will virtually touch thousands of households in Nigeria and neighboring countries. It will be a fish blast. Thousands of communities in Yauri Emirate live along the channel of River Niger. The emirate occupies over 250 kilometers stretch of the river's channel. Centuries of close contact allow these communities developed into skilled and efficient fishermen. We take a canoe ride through the channels of the receding river. Everywhere is idyllic pictures of fishermen on active duty. I do not want to bother you with the method used to catch fish among these riverine communities, but definitely there is more than one. My guide, the Galadima of Yauri, took great pains to explain the methods to me, but all I can see are fishermen and their nets. The only group who do not use boats and nets are those who are fishing on gigantic goods.
Fishing is a very big, strong occupation here. So many people live on it.
Like people live on onion cultivation, like they live on rice cultivation?
Yes, yes. There are certain people who will call Sarkawa. Yes. They have no any other work besides catching fish.
And they live around this
And they live here, yes.
We sailed deep into the riverside communities. On the way, I marveled at the landscape created by the retreating waters and how it exposed land areas that hitherto were consumed in waters. For good measure, the phenomenon of the receding river Niger in Yauri around me bring communities of fishermen from the neighboring states to Yauri to fish too. This set of group are from Suru in Kebbi State. They make the trip every year to this locality to fish for livelihood. They have made some significant catch on the day, and I was stunned by the variety of fish they caught in these waters. The leader of the team, Malam Adamu, said they set out every day as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, and for the whole day they will be in water. This community of fishermen usually erect makeshift structures to put up for the night in areas where the water vacated. They use the settlement to smoke their catch too. Malam Adamu told me that they make as much as 40,000 naira every 4 days for their catch. Further down, we have more pictures of members of various local communities deep in their art of catching fish. The story is, they all walk toward the market day in Yauri, and tomorrow is market day. It is difficult to talk of any other thing in Yauri market when any of its 3 major crops are in season. It is the season of fish now, and every other thing gets a distant mention. River Niger here provides a lot of alternatives, I tell you, for the people around this area. But then, the species of fish they catch here, they can be from small to very big, and then of different kinds, freshwater fishes. Let me show you one. You can look at this one, it's smoked, but it looks very big. It looks like clarias to me, but it's not clarias. They call it rambushi, something close to it. But obviously, let's see how big it can be. But then, most beautifully too, these people have a simple technology of smoking most of what they catch. Virtually, all the fish that are coming from the communities, you will find that it has been smoked effectively, so that it doesn't waste. So it is not only about fishing they do, it is also about skill. The atmosphere at the fish market is electric, but it begins slow and picks up gradually and literally explodes at noon. The early morning pictures are of small boats arriving from the riverine communities with their cargo of fish. These modest arrivals offers insight of the larger picture. There is the rush to intercept the craft and the rapid movement to the fish market, a wide enclosure in the riverside where all transactions about fish are made. Standing at a strategic point on the riverside of Yauri, I have a beautiful view of the life unfolding there. It is livelihood like no other. People coming out to find lives. Canoes coming from various localities on the riverside. It is just life like you have never seen. You will find that in a cargo, in a typical cargo like the one I'm trying to show you, you will find that there is not only a fish consignment, you will find livestock like sheep and cattle. You will find wood, people bringing wood from the hinterland. You will find a lot of things, people bringing everything that they possibly can to bring it to the market so they can find an income. You talk of the advantage of a riverside to the rural economy, to the economy of the people living on the river bank. And then of course, to take up livelihood on the riverside of Yauri. For lovers of tourism and beauty, Yauri at this time of the year offers a window. Standing on the riverside, there is a wonderful scenery of arriving boats in magnificent fashion. When they do arrive, various categories of people rush to them. There are groups of children who carry loads of fish at a price to the market. There are buyers who make a quick dash to their customers ahead of any challenger. There are agents too who come to buy for their customers. There is a pattern to this interactive. Whatever happens at the riverside is eventually transported to the fish market arena. There are stopovers though from the boats to the immediate basin. From these transits, I had a picture of some of the catches that come out of this river. They can be small, but they can be big too. Maladamu is somebody who catches fish. He's a fisherman. But usually on market day, he comes to the market, sell his fish, and then of course interact with other people. And perhaps even buy equipment that he needs for his occupation. Now,
this year, fishing is different. There is not too much fish. When the water is receding, there is no grass. So the fish couldn't stay. Last year, we can have 10 basins in 4 days. This year, you can't get 2. The prices are low too.
It is getting to noon now, and more pictures are beginning to emerge. The fish cargoes are putting in an appearance now, and the market promises to hit peak position at the moment. The scramble before the arriving boats is more intense now. The big guns are dropping their cargo of fish. Again, I am taken by the ceaseless movement of this marketplace. As the fish got into the main market, I begin to wonder, will it contain all these fish coming in? This is an overview of the fish market itself at its peak. The scenes unfolding here are rather defined. For one, not a single basket of fish here will remain unsold at the end of the day. At the market peaks, in the background are calculated bargain by various fish buyer groups who arrive the market from all states of Nigeria to buy. Many have agents who buy for them, a number buy directly. In general, there is familiarity in the business interaction here. For those who buy, they commission a diligent packaging system for their fish. At the other end of the market, fish packaging is a major endeavor. We actually capture things of different kinds of vehicles loaded with the fish package for Nigerian markets. There are scenes as well of loading and packaging ahead of the fish journey to various destinations in Nigeria. It is beautiful interacting with the people who are buying fish from Yauri market and taking it to various markets across Nigeria. You need to hear their experiences. Obviously, beautiful experiences, but generally, at the end of the day, beautiful livelihood.
I'm selling to Abuja. I'm taking it to Abuja.
To Abuja?
Yes, sir.
From Yauri?
From Yauri to Abuja.
Is that what you do?
Yes, sir.
For how long?
This is getting to 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years?
Yes.
You buy from Yauri?
Down to Abuja.
You go to Abuja?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, how has it been like? How is the business like?
It's very, very interesting because it's helping. It's helped me to do one thing or the other to the family. And even me, I'm schooling. That is what I'm paying for my school fees and the support to my husband too.
So at the end of the day, you are breaking even. Everything is going fine for you.
Yes, I give.
Now, when you buy food here, do you sell it at a retail trade or somebody buys the whole carton from you?
I used to supply workers. I used to give them. When I give them after paying, after salary, then they will pay me the money. But there are some that I used to give small. Maybe if they have money, they will give me there. But if they don't have it, I will used to leave it month-endly. Because if you do not do month-endly, you will not get what you want. So I used to give them month-endly.
This woman is taking her cargo of fish to Abuja. These people arrive from Lafia in Nasarawa State. They made it a duty to come to Yauri every market day when fish is in season to buy bus loads of fish. It has been so for them for the past 6 years, especially now as the fish window from the Borno axis was blocked on account of insurgency. All around the market are pictures of bakers loading fish heading to all parts of Nigeria. It is Yauri's bounty to the nation. I've almost forgotten about fresh fish in Yauri. Yes, fresh fish is brought to the market too. In fact, to help in preserving it and reducing wastages, the federal government has provided a giant cold store for the preservation of fresh fish in Yauri. Many of the big catches, which could best be preserved raw, are made safe here in the cold store. In the market, there is a section for fresh fish too. I admit, however, the market is driven more by smoked fish. It would be arrogant of me to put forward that those fish cargoes bring only fish to the market. Sundry items like livestock, wood and poultry are also included. Crucially, however, I was at the riverside again at dusk to see what do these riverine communities buy and go back home with. There are sundry items due to support their daily needs, including occupational needs, of course. Their journey at dusk looks epical to me too. Despite my experience at the fish market of Yauri, I have also been to many of the riverine communities to see the planting of what they call mud rice. All the spaces you see around this place were 3 months ago overtaken by water from River Niger. 3 months later, the water has drained away. And you know when it drains? During the rainy season. Well, expectedly, people will think that the water will be high. That will be the time when the water is low. Now, that is as beautiful as it is. But as it drains away, it gives the people around this area a lot of possibilities. The possibilities to farm their rice. You can. The reality of River Niger draining from mid-April around the Yauri axis allowed the riverine communities to plant rice in the spaces the river vacated. It is a special kind of rice which must mature before the rains. This rice is cultivated extensively along all of Yauri Emirate. This is the window that assures Yauri cultivate rice 3 times a year. No place in Nigeria is that blessed. But it comes with a huge challenge. Harvest must be before rains. Otherwise, a farmer stands the risk of losing all of his crop to flood waters. The farmers know that all too well. The risks do not seem to deter the farmers though. In fact, they are worried more about fertilizer and farm input than natural forces overtaking their crops.
The government, especially the government Kebbi State, they give a lot of assistance to these farmers. Fertilizer and these water pumps. They do give, really. But you see, maybe it's not enough. Or maybe there are some crook people, I mean those people, the fraudsters that will come and promise even on us, the farmers, and they get money from them without anything any benefit to the farmers. But there is organization, and also the government involve the traditional rulers, so that because the traditional are with the grassroots.
In general, Yauri Emirate remains blessed environment with life-changing possibilities and opportunities that guarantee the prosperity of the people and the people who patronize them.
Welcome to Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
This is NTA International. Imagine a station where you access information. Think of a station that creates awareness for national development. Imagine a station that prepares you for a bright and greater future. A station for all ages. Documentaries, classroom and television, events coverage, children's programs and variety shows. Always stay tuned to NTA Knowledge on the StarTimes platform, channel 359. For partnership, sponsorship and advert placements, contact us on NTA Knowledge. NTA Knowledge, learning to broaden horizon.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Improvement in sanitary conditions. Federal government provides borehole for vulnerable community in Ogun State. More organizations speak with one voice on the increase in rape. Experts harp on the most convenient way of handling waste products. Plus, how are you preparing for retirement or saving for a rainy day? Interesting lineup of stories on this week's edition of The Correspondents. It promises to be exciting. I'm Najat Tijani. Thanks for joining us. Let's begin with the provision of potable water to a community in Ogun State. In a bid to improve the sanitary condition of Ogbe community, the federal government has drilled a 12-panel solar-powered borehole through the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority as part of COVID-19 emergency response to address the challenge of potable water. The project, which is located at Ogbe premises of the Nigerian Television Authority Channel 12, Abeokuta, is part of efforts to eradicate open defecation by 2025 and promote healthy living in the area.
Safe and readily available water is important, especially for public health, be it for drinking, food production, or recreational purposes. It has been established that improved water supply and better management of water resources can boost economic growth and also contribute greatly to poverty reduction. Now, imagine the untold hardship residents of Ogbe community in Ogun State had gone through for decades without water, until recently when fortune smiled on them courtesy federal government through the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority.
For sustenance, for more blessings, and for more projects to come in your NTA for more.
Amen! Ogun-Osun River has done a very great project in our environment, and we are glad.
It's really going to be of help, especially in dry season. The environment is lack of water.
120-meter depth, 12-panel solar-powered borehole with 5,000-gallon storage capacity plastic tanks mounted on a 6-meter high stanchion will also support palliative measures on COVID-19 response to the community.
I really thank Ogun-Osun for this laudable project. In fact, I commend them.
Located at the premises of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Abeokuta, the project is part of federal government's efforts towards providing access to clean water by 2030 through the Water Hygiene and Sanitation WASH program and the Open Defecation Eradication by 2025 nationwide.
The commissioning is no doubt expedient at this time, considering the numerous needs of the Ogun community in Abeokuta local government, especially our colleagues staff of the television station, who are putting up so much frontline efforts in enlightenment and entertainment of the citizens.
Corporate social responsibility, you might say. People of Ogbe community will no longer suffer from infectious diseases due to unhealthy environment. Now let's talk about a very serious issue in Nigeria, which is sexual assault of women, girls and minors. This ugly trend is on the increase, with many victims and their families sometimes giving up hope of obtaining justice due to negative societal perceptions. But that is changing as the culture of naming and shaming perpetrators of rape is gaining more acceptance, with female visual artists unveiling an art exhibition in support of the call for rape victims to speak out. Correspondent Olabode Arewa tells us more.
The aftermath of sexual assault or rape can be extremely difficult, with painful emotions and experiences for the victims. Chinze Ojobo, a visual artist, shares the story of how the sexual molestation of a neighbor's daughter changed her perspective.
We need to make the women understand, and also at the same time, we're using this to also show that we can use art, to treat and to heal people, that have been victims of this rape.
Such pathetic story inspired these artists to put together this art exhibition to draw attention to the dangers of sexual and gender-based violence.
There isn't enough, template. There isn't enough action plan to discuss issues for people who have survived rape, to get counseling or to get some sort of outlet for expression. And so hence the need for this art.
Actually, I have been abused once. So I painted it with, let me say, anger and resentment for who did whatever to me. So it just shows that women are very weak vessels and we should be protected in this society.
So I would like to use this medium to tell the society to say no to rape, because it's one thing that affects the life of the female gender. Basically, all victims are usually not the same at the end of the event, and it's going to be sad if someone remembers you for bad.
There have been so many cases of raping children of 3 months, 6 months, 7 months, which pushed me into depicting this painting. The painting is trying to show how dark and deadly raping a little child is.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and the National Human Rights Commission have also lent their voices to the cry of the artists.
To the victims, you are victorious. You are no longer victims. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Always learn to speak out. The process of speaking out is a healing process, and life goes on. You must move on with your life. The shame goes to the perpetrators because they are the losers. They are the ones to be stigmatized and not the victims. And of course, we'll come after you. We'll prosecute you and ensure that you go to jail. And for parents, you have a role to play. You need to look after your children very closely. Don't get careless with your children. Don't leave them to the drivers. Don't leave them to the cook. Don't leave them to the security men. Always keep an eye on your children. Protect them very well.
Rape and STD are gross violations of human rights, and they also affect the right to human dignity, the right to life.
The central theme of the art exhibition, which is Stand Up and Speak Out Against Rape, urges parents, victims, and the society at large to always remember that there is a just remedy for anyone affected by sexual assault, and victims can recover and gain their lives back.
And from the field straight to the studios to talk more about his report is our correspondent Olabode Arewa. Thank you for coming on our program today.
Thank you, Najatu.
Now, it's really interesting to see that so many organizations are adding their voices, joining the campaign against sexual abuse and other forms of molestation. Even our very own NTA is at the forefront of this campaign against rape. Yes. Now, how do you see this new addition of female visual artists adding their voices to this battle cry?
Okay, thank you. It's a good initiative by them, because rape is an issue of public concern. They, as artists, they are using their platform to give more voice to the issue. Drama, music, visual arts, in all its forms, all their forms, they are platforms which people can use to